Kanwar Yatra in eye of storm. UP Chief Minister bats for Kanwariyas. Yogi alleges media trial.
न जाति का भेद है, न क्षेत्र का भेद है, न वर्ग का भेद है, न मत का भेद है, न संप्रदाय का भेद है। हर हर बम बम बोलते हुए जाते हैं, कावड़ को कंधे में रख करके फिर उसी प्रकार से उसी भक्ति भाव के साथ चलते हैं।
Yogi draws muharram parallel.
मैंने कहा लाठी मार करके बाहर करो इनको, क्योंकि ये लातों के भूत हैं, बातों से मानेंगे नहीं। जब हमने कहा था
SP questions Yogi government.
तो दिल्ली की 11 साल की सरकार और उत्तर प्रदेश की 10 साल की सरकार हो जाएगी। इन्होंने कावड़ियों के लिए क्यों कोई ऐसा रूट नहीं बनाया जिस स्वच्छता के साथ, जिस पवित्रता के साथ और जिस भावना के साथ जाना चाहिए, उसके लिए क्यों नहीं बनाया इन्होंने?
Kanwar Yatra showdown. Big focus on NewsTrack.
Good evening. You're watching NewsTrack here on India Today. I'm Adityanath Gopal. There's a big political showdown over the ongoing Kanwar Yatra. There have been instances once again of violence that's played out along the Kanwar Yatra route. And amid that, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has claimed that all of this is a narrative against the Yatris. We're going to be talking about that and getting you both sides of the Kanwar Yatra debate. Let's begin with the headlines first. US declares Lashkar proxy TRF as terror organization. Lashkar offshoot, the resistance front behind Pahalgam attacks that killed 26 tourists. India welcomes move. AAP disengages from India bloc, says alliance was only for 2024 Lok Sabha polls. Delhi election laws prompts AAP to rethink strategy. Prime Minister Modi on Mamta's turf slams Bengal government over women's safety, accuses Trinamool Congress of shielding rape accused. TMC says BJP will struggle to cross even 50 seats in Bengal. Justice Yashwant Verma moves Supreme Court against panel report, seeks to quash impeachment recommendation, alleges rights infringed. Karnataka Chief Minister assures probe in Dharmasthala burials case, says government will act on police report as per law. And let's get you all the details of the reactions that have come in on the Kanwar Yatra showdown. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has claimed that what we're seeing right now, all of the accusations against Kanwariyas, as they're called, and the violence that's been reported, it's all a narrative. He claims that it's a media trial of referring to them as terrorists, hooligans and whatnot. And that's not all. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has also drawn a Muharram parallel, saying even during Muharram, there's violence, but nobody talks about that. Everyone talks about the Kanwar Yatra. Is there really a biased narrative against the Kanwar Yatra? Or is this Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath's rather biased view of what's happening? Let's get you our detailed report first on what exactly the political statements have been and the SP's retort to Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath.
Shops ransacked, cars destroyed, drivers beaten up, hooliganism on the roads. There are numerous instances of what is otherwise a sacred and holy pilgrimage marred by violence and vandalism. But UP CM Yogi Adityanath has backed Kanwariyas, calling them victims of a media trial. Yogi has called it a malicious attempt to malign Shiv Bhakts and brand them as terrorists.
न जाति का भेद है, न क्षेत्र का भेद है, न वर्ग का भेद है, न मत का भेद है, न संप्रदाय का भेद है, लेकिन मीडिया ट्रायल होता है, बदनाम किया जाता है, खूब उसके बारे में लिखा जाता है, उन्हें उपद्रवी और आतंकवादी तक बोलने का दुस्साहस होता है। यह वह मानसिकता है जो हर प्रकार से भारत की विरासत को अपमानित करना चाहती है।
His comments come in the aftermath of criticism from the opposition of the special treatment that has been given to Kanwar pilgrims in spite of the multiple cases of violence.
दिल्ली की 11 साल की सरकार और उत्तर प्रदेश की 10 साल की सरकार हो जाएगी। इन्होंने कावड़ियों के लिए क्यों कोई ऐसा रूट नहीं बनाया जहां पर वो धार्मिक अपनी यात्राएं जो धर्म के अनुसार उन्हें अनुष्ठान या जो परंपराएं निभानी पड़ती हैं उसके लिए क्यों नहीं बनाया इन्होंने?
But Yogi has not pulled back his punches. The Uttar Pradesh CM also drew a comparison between Tazia processions during Muharram and the Kanwar Yatris, highlighting the unruly behavior of the participants, pointing out the disruptive elements disguise themselves to create unrest.
जौनपुर में जबरदस्ती उन्होंने बड़ा ताजिया उठाया और हुआ क्या, वो हाई टेंशन की चपेट में आया, 3 लोग मर गए। बाद में उन्होंने रास्ता जाम किया। देखिए, एक भी जगह सोशल मीडिया में किसी ने विरोध नहीं किया। उत्तर प्रदेश में तो हम लोगों ने व्यवस्था भी बनाई हुई है कि वे अस्त्र शस्त्र से आप प्रदर्शन नहीं करेंगे, नहीं तो मुहर्रम का हर जुलूस उत्पात का, आगजनी का, तोड़फोड़ का कारण बनता था।
The opposition has lashed out at the Yogi government for communalizing the issue.
पूरा देश इस बात को महसूस कर रहा है कि कोई भी त्यौहार होता है, वो ईद हो, दिवाली हो, होली हो, बकरीद हो, कांवड़ की यात्रा हो, मुहर्रम हो, भारतीय जनता पार्टी त्यौहार के नाम पे, परंपराओं के नाम पे, धार्मिक आस्था के नाम पे केवल राजनीति करने का काम करती है।
Despite UP government's order, the length of Tazia was not remained normal. That's what Yogi Adityanath has cautioned. While on the other hand, in this day only, Ghaziabad has seen a protest by Hindu activists.
So while you're having all of this politics play out right now and reactions from the BJP and the Samajwadi Party, keep in mind that there have been, since the start of the Kanwar Yatra, even this year, there have been incidents of violence that have been reported. And let me bring in right now our panelists joining us on this broadcast to kind of decode what really we've been seeing right now. We've got Shantanu Gupta, political analyst and author, Nikhil Jain, political consultant and advocate. Good evening. Thank you both for your time. Nikhil Jain, I'd like to begin with you to your response to Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath saying that there's a media trial that's currently underway when Kanwariyas are referred to as hooligans or terrorists.
Actually, so the problem is that the chief minister of a state, no matter what state it is, what party it is supposed to be a secular figure. He may be a saint in his Hindu figure in his personal life, but when he sits on that chair, he has to see things for as they are. Fact of the matter is that you have numerous instances of violence during Kanwar Yatras in the state of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Delhi, as are there incidents of violence during Tazia processions. And I'm sure you would find incidents of violence across other processions as well, taken out to observe some sort of a religious or cultural event. The job of the state, the Uttar Pradesh state, the Delhi state, the Uttarakhand state, is to make sure that this violence does not take place, is to make sure that any person engaging in such violence is taken to task and punished with due process of law. But what do we have the chief minister doing here? He's first of all, he's bringing he's bringing that parity of a Tazia procession violence. Right now, the Tazia processions are not going on. He should raise that issue when Tazia processions come around and violence occurs. Right now, he should be checking on the violence that is occurring during the Kanwar Yatra. He should be trying to stop that. But instead, what does he do? He talks about how there is a media trial. These people are being called terrorists. You are playing the visuals on your screen right now, which is for your viewers to see the kind of ruckus some hooligans. I will not say all Kanwar Yatris are bad. Of course, they aren't. It's a religious festival. But a lot of lumpen hooligan elements do join in these yatras. There are charges that they, peddle drugs. There are charges, or as we can all see, they engage in eve teasing, they engage in violence, they engage in breaking rules, they engage in beating up policemen. All of these incidents happen every year, and it's sad that none of our state governments try to stop it in the manner that they should.
Okay.
That's a fact of the matter.
Shantanu Gupta, is it unfair to claim that a narrative is being created when, the images speak for themselves, that there are incidents of vandalism, of violence every time during the Kanwar Yatra?
Akshita, it's what you show on your TV. There are tens and lakhs of Kanwar Yatris go every year. It's a very, very hard yatra. They carry liters and liters of water.
Of course.
Walk barefoot miles together, carry Ganga Jal, and this is a blessing for their city, for their family, for themselves, for the society and the country in large. And just showing 5, 6, 10 cases after the tens and lakhs of Kanwar Yatris, so they're just vilifying them. You go to airport during Hajj Yatra time, just see the chaos in Hajj Yatra. Do we report that? During Ramzan time, during Easter, I mean, that's why Yogi Adityanath is pointing.
No, chaos is one thing. Shantanu Gupta, chaos is one thing. This is vandalism and violence that's being reported.
I can show you parallel.
One-off incidents should also be reported. We can't turn a blind eye saying it's happened, but it's not happening otherwise.
No. You're not getting my point. Let me explain myself again.
Sure.
Tens and lakhs of people are going. There are 5 incidents and you're pointing them out. In a marriage event where 1,000 people come, there are vandalism. In a marriage party, you find, because you'll say, okay, no, stop marriages, right? So that's why I'm saying, that's what Yogi Adityanath is pointing, that lakhs and lakhs of people are pointing. You are just showing those 5 visuals. Also show when Kanwar Yatris are going, when they carry their mother in their hand, they carry the children in the hand, they're carrying liters of water. They have a pratigya, I will carry 50 liters more water every year. Show that also on the TV parallelly in this.
No, of course we did.
You right now, no. You right now are also trying to vilify. You're just showing those 5 scenes.
Shantanu, I will tell you that personally, I have last week done a show explaining the significance of the Kanwar Yatra, about what the Yatra is. We've done that, we're doing this as well. It's important to highlight both.
I think nobody, see, Akshita, nobody will justify that. One thing, but don't make this the brand of Kanwar. These are elements which should be eliminated, and UP government, you have seen how they are hard-hitting on anyone who is not gelling with the society. Religious economy has become a part of UP's ethos. How many people came to Ayodhya last year? 13.5 crores, 1 crore more than Taj Mahal, which is the brochure of every Indian magazine before 2014. Kashi 8.5 crore, more than Goa. Kumbh 66.5 crore. So this is also the part of economy. When they travel, they spend a lot of money. The Kanwars, which are made by largely the Muslims of Jalapur. So I think every time when Kanwar comes, oh my God, why Yogi Adityanath is showering petals on Kanwar Yatris? Why they can't even eat the food they want to eat? That also we are deciding on TV channels that what kind of food they should eat. They can't even ask the name of the person. Halal certificate is fine in India. So that's why Yogi Adityanath is pointing, why we vilify every time Kanwar Yatra comes, why there is a TV debate, let it go on. Those 1 or 2, 5 incidents you can report for sure, but don't make it a brand of Kanwar. Okay, the Kanwar Yatra is only about 1 or 2 incidents that happens.
Okay.
That's my point, and that's I think Yogi Adityanath is also
Okay, Nikhil Jain, your response. Are we painting them all with the same brush as Shantanu Gupta says?
Akshita, so far as I can see, the reason we are having this debate is because the UP Chief Minister has given a statement. That was your introductory package. That was the information your team gave me. And that is the entire reason we are having this debate. I don't think we would have had such a fierce debate had it not been for the Chief Minister's statement trying to compare this religious festival to another religious festival. And I'm sure there are television shows like this that also run during Tazia processions whenever incidents of violence happen. Also, my good friend Shantanu says that you're only showing 5 visuals out of a yatra that is, has millions of people. Fact of the matter is, it is not 5 incidents. It's probably 500 incidents. You and I both live in Delhi, Noida, NCR. I think Shantanu also does. And we've seen the kind of ruckus many of these lumpen elements create. Again, this is not against Kanwar Yatra. This is against the hooligans who join in this yatra and are given a sort of cover and impunity to engage in all of this nonsense by different state governments and different state police. Tell me what happened to any case wherein some sort of vandalism was done, somebody's head was opened, somebody was shot. Does anybody ever proceed against the cases that happened during this time? Again, I will say the same should happen in every single case of violence that happens during Tazia processions or any other religious processions. We cannot let religious festivals and people masquerading as religious
No, but
saints or whatever.
should we even be drawing a parallel?
this.
You know, should we even be drawing a parallel? Vandalism in any moment, any festival, any procession is wrong. So, Shantanu Gupta, when we draw a parallel of what happens during Muharram, what happens during Kanwar Yatra, are we then going ahead and also spreading hate?
Comparison is a normal element of an argument, right? When we compare anything, we'll say, okay, it happens there also. So I'm saying comparison is a normal element of an argument. But when Nikhil says goons, lumpens, hooligans, I'm saying this is what Yogi Adityanath is pointing. How many times Nikhil Jain can post his videos after this? How many times he uses word goons, lumpens, hooligans for the Tazia procession? Whenever such incident happens, I'll challenge Nikhil Jain and the ilk, the whole ilk, that they can show any video of whenever such ruckus happens during Tazia, during Ramzan, similar ruckus. I can show multiple videos, but they use the word, like they dare to use the word goons, lumpans, hooligans, because then no, there's the dictator Sartan se juda.
Okay, valid question.
They can't even able to think.
Valid question. Nikhil Jain, do you want to respond to that? Would you use the same words that you're using against those who are resorting to vandalism during the Kanwar Yatra, even during Tazia, Muharram?
He can't even dare to do that.
Strongly condemn any lumpen element, any goon, any hooligan, any hoodlum taking part in the Kanwar Yatra or the Tazia procession or a Ganesh Chaturthi procession or any other procession of any other faith or culture, be it Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Jains, whatever it is. People cannot take law into their own hands. People cannot engage in these violent acts in the name of religion. Hindus can't do it. Muslims can't do it. We should live in a country of law. And Shantanu, I think you were not probably clearly hearing me when I was making my opening statement. I started with saying that this sort of violence is not kosher when it happens during Kanwar Yatra. It is not kosher when it happens during Tazia processions. My problem with this statement of the Chief Minister is that he is turning a blind eye when these hoodlums in the Kanwar Yatra, not the entire Kanwar Yatra, some hoodlums in the Kanwar Yatra create the ruckus, but he's trying to blow up the incidents that happen during the Tazia procession. Even during those processions, you have millions of people walking the streets. Even during those processions, you have several hundred incidents and not like a million incidents. The two are pretty much the same, except the difference is in the way the state is responding to them.
So, Shantanu, Nikhil Jain has done what you wanted. He's calling out both sides. He's saying that, look, it's wrong.
I'm saying that's something. Nikhil Jain is one of the rare breeds. I think he's saying kudos to him for his neutrality and for his fairness, but that's not the way. That's why Yogi Adityanath is pointing. From last 10 days, I'm attending debates after debate, channel after channel, all vilifying Kanwar Yatra. That's what Yogi Adityanath is pointing. It's a Kanwar Yatra
again,
for the blessing
I
of the
think
whole
we
India.
need to make a clear distinction here. While the Chief Minister says there's a media trial, let's be very clear that this is not to malign the entire Yatra, but it is to call out those who use the Yatra as an excuse to resort to vandalism, and we must call them out, Shantanu.
Might be different, Akshita, but that's what I'm sure you watch other channels. I'm attending. I must have attended 60 debates in last 10 days, and they're largely vilifying. Oh, why they want to eat? Why they want to know the name of the
So you know, we'll keep that for the other channels. Here, let's be very clear that the question is about separating the vandals and the hooligans who use the Yatra as an excuse to resort to this kind of violence. When the Chief Minister speaks about what happens during a Muharram procession, during Tazia, at this time when it's not underway, speak about it when that's happened versus when something's happening during the Kanwar Yatra. Speak about that. Is there a need to draw this parallel, Shantanu? Because then are you making this a Hindu-Muslim issue?
Basic element of any argument.
But are you then spreading hate in an already sensitive society of a Hindu-Muslim kind of narrative?
I'm saying why Hindu festival always becomes sensitive? Let them celebrate. They can't even eat the food they want to eat. We decide in all TV studios, no. They should eat what TV studios want them to eat, right? That's what happened in news channels.
Again, Shantanu, we have never done that
Yogi
here on
Adityanath's
India
commentary
Today.
is not India Today channel. Yogi Adityanath's commentary is what he's hearing all around, from YouTube channels to Instagram to TV news channel. To that, he's making commentary. They don't vilify Kanwar Yatris. They're doing for the blessing for the whole country. Just enjoy it and even take part in it. I'm saying to your viewers, this is my not even a challenge. It's my request. Try to take a Kanwar Yatra or just walk with Kanwar Yatris at least a kilometer or two. Then they will start vilifying them.
Okay, I've run out of time. Closing comments from Nikhil Jain. What do you make really of all of the clear statements that come in from Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath? Shantanu Gupta also saying that, look, there's a clear attempt here to create a narrative against the Kanwar Yatra and vilify them.
Akshita, I'm quite regular on television myself. I have done 20 debates in the past 1 or 2 weeks. I have not done a single debate that is vilifying the Kanwar Yatris. This is one debate that is being very fair. You are showing the side of violence that is happening, but at the same time, you are not trying to condemn the entire Kanwar Yatra. And I have not seen a single news debate that is trying to condemn the entire Kanwar Yatra. Nobody would. Nobody in their right mind would. That being said, I want to address an important point that Shantanu talks about, that people are trying to sit in television studios and decide what kind of food the Kanwar Yatris should have, and they are not even allowed to ask the name of the person making the food. I'm sorry, Shantanu, nobody is asking the Kanwar Yatris to have non-vegetarian food or tamasic food or food that is not allowed during the yatra. What people raised an objection to was the fact that there were orders from the Uttarakhand government and the Uttar Pradesh government mandating people to display the names of the owners of the eateries outside these eateries, and they were trying to masquerade under different statutory requirements.
We've got a report coming up on that. We've got a report coming up on that. So quickly, I'll give it over to Shantanu for his closing comments on this entire discourse. Shantanu, you're saying separate the two, the vandals from the yatra. The reality is that very often these vandals are those who are a part of the yatra.
I reiterate the same thing. There are tens and tens and tens and lakhs of yatris in Uttarakhand route, in Jharkhand route, and Himachal route. There are many, many of them. You can show this 10 instances to death, cows will come home. But again, try to understand. I'm sure you said you made a show. Try to say what is the significance of the yatra, what is the water means, what is the cover shape is. Try to show shows on that. I'm saying you can do shows on this also. That's why the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is pointing. That don't try to vilify yatra, which is going from ages and ages together. Such elements, I'm sure his government will weed out. Such elements who was maybe purposely creating this ruckus, but don't try to paint that this is what Kanwar Yatra is about, and that's his point, I think.
Okay, all right, Shantanu
Gupta. I
Gupta.
agree with him, but just will Shantanu say the same thing for the Tazia processions? That don't vilify the Tazia processions, only vilify the lumpen elements within those processions.
Shantanu, your quick response.
Surely, bilkul, surely. In fact, in Uttar Pradesh, whenever the Tazia Yatra happens, the notice is the proper notice is served, and there hardly any problem happened in last 8 years in any of the major Tazia Yatra.
Okay, all right. We'll wrap up with that. Shantanu Gupta, Nikhil Jain, thank you very much for joining us. Unfortunately, I've run out of time, so we will put out that report through the day on Saturday as well, our ground report on really what the Kanwar Yatra is looking like. But we leave it to you, the viewer, to decide whether this is an attempt to vilify a religious event, the Kanwar Yatra, or are the questions here valid considering the incidents of violence that have been reported every year, including this year, on the Kanwar Yatra. Thanks very much for tuning into this edition of NewsTrack. I'm wrapping up this broadcast.